So here is how you rewire your brain and live up to your true potential. Let's get this out of the way. You're not lazy. You just don't know how to work smart yet. Ever noticed how billionaires do 10,000 things a day and still stay super healthy and productive? Guess what? It's not because they are just magically better human beings than you. You see, it's because they have some tricks up their sleeves to boost motivation and work smarter. Now, in this biohacking video series, I'll cover a few lesser known tips to force your brain to focus and get more work done. And as I promised earlier, since this is part 2, I'll talk about long-term tips to boost your focus. If you are desperate and in need of an immediate boost, go back to part 1. The first nootropic that we want to talk about for focus is creatine. For cognitive issues, creatine can improve mitochondrial function. As mitochondria gets damaged, an aging chemical known as lipofuscin accumulates in the brain. That has been correlated with Alzheimer's. It's also been correlated with Parkinson's. Creatine has been shown to reduce and prevent the buildup of this lipofuscin, right, that accumulates in the brain. In addition, creatine has also been shown to increase blood flow to the brain. So as we age and undergo stress, we get less blood to our actual brain when we're stressed or as we get older. And creatine, by increasing the blood flow to the brain, compensates for that, right? It also prevents mental fatigue. It also boosts cognition. And it's one of the most effective cognitive enhancers out there. Creatine has been shown to increase BDNF production, and that's brain-derived nootropic factor. And what BDNF is a stimulatory protein that increases new brain cell production, while also improving the performance of existing brain cells. So research has been linked that individuals with higher levels of BDNF have less depression, find it easier to focus, and have greater mental endurance than people who have low BDNF. The problem is that aging and stress decrease BDNF activity, particularly in individuals who don't actively try to learn new skills or pursue new hobbies, and creatine boosts your BDNF, which therefore should make you less depressed and also protect your brain cells and have them work. There is no special form of creatine that you need to take. No matter how good the marketing hype is, basic, regular, cheap creatine will do the trick. If you eat a lot of meat, you probably already have good creatine levels and you won't need more. But if you're a vegetarian, in every study that I've read about where vegetarians were given creatine, their mental performance, their test scores, etc., all went up, all of them. Ability to pay attention, your ability to focus, and your ability to concentrate in the short run, like immediately. But it also promotes neuroplasticity and the growth of new brain tissue over time. Then there are long-term benefits. It increases wakefulness, it reduces oxidative stress, so it's an antioxidant, it promotes brain health, it also reduces anxiety, and also promotes excitability. It's not as strong as bromotain. Maybe it is if at the same kind of dose as bromotain, but generally this is taken in a much smaller dose, right? Generally 1/5 or 1/10 of what you might take in bromotain. So the next one is lion's mane, the mushroom. It's been around for thousands of years and it's been used for thousands of years. Lion's mane's stimulating effect comes without the buzz or crash of some other nootropics, most notably caffeine. It also doesn't share the potential of negative side effects of some prescription nootropics. Instead, the mushroom is touted for its ability to safely enhance cognition, improve memory, and support learning. People report better focus and productivity while supplementing with lion's mane. The active compound appears to address the root cause of brain fog, which is a common complaint among those struggling with their attention. For this reason, lion's mane's coffee has been gaining popularity as a way to enjoy extra morning boost. It helps your memory, it helps depression, helps anxiety, it helps your body rebuild your nerve growth factor. It's been shown to increase your ability to respond to insulin, which means it lowers your insulin resistance, which is at the core of diabetes. It also increases your immune system. Okay, Okay, the next one, phosphatidylserine. It is a fat-soluble compound that is naturally found in the brain. It's required, your brain needs it for cognitive function and healthy nerve cells. It's necessary for neuron cell membranes to be able to release the neurotransmitters, getting more. Phosphatidylserine reliably improves memory, mood, learning, cognition, focus, processing speed, and overall cognitive function. One study looked specifically at its effects on children with ADHD and found that it had significantly improved inattention, impulsivity, and short-term memory. It's vital for brain health. It's highly concentrated in your cell membranes, helps the release, storage, and activity of all neurotransmitters, which boosts cognition, focus, memory, and recall. 300 to 800 milligrams a day is absorbed efficiently in humans, crosses the blood-brain barrier, safely slows, halts, or reverses biochemical alterations and structural deteriorations in nerve cells. It supports human cognitive function, including the formation of short-term memory, the consolidation of long-term memory, the ability to create new memories, the ability to retrieve memories, the ability to learn and recall information, the ability to focus, attention, and concentrate, the ability to reason and solve problems, language skills, the ability to communicate. It also supports locomotor function, especially rapid reactions and reflexes. Not a bad thing, very easily found. The next one is also used for ADHD. It was an experimental drug in Russia. The name of it, let me tell you that first. It's called Cemax, and it was an experimental drug for circulatory disorders in Russia. It was also initially used in Russia to treat stroke victims and victims of brain damage. It works like a hormone, which counteracts stress brought by external factors from the environment. It also primes the brain for action that can reduce behaviors like procrastination and avoidance. Cemax can also induce a controlled state of mental stress, which optimizes brain function. So the body, your body, my body, all of our bodies respond negatively to stress, significant stress, right? By increasing certain liver enzyme productions. Cemax prevents that. So it prevents the enzyme production caused by stress. And stress is not only like horrible stress like around you, but not getting enough sleep is stress on the body. Being sick is a stress on the body. So it helps with all those things. It's recommended for ADHD and learning. Studies show with ADHD that it can improve memory and increase the neurotransmitters that are lower in patients with ADHD. In Russia, this is a common alternative for drug therapy for children with ADHD. Since ADHD is possibly a neurodevelopmental condition, this could disturb levels of dopamine, with which Cemax addresses, right? Cemax increases your dopamine. Neurotransmitters like most frequently reported benefits are motivation and mood. Cemax is well known to rapidly induce BDNF, brain-driven neurotrophic factor. More serotonin can explain the behavioral improvements people report of a more stress-resistant mood and higher energy levels, making it effective for conditions like chronic fatigue. Acetyl-L-Carnitine is another really interesting one because it helps with weight loss, but it also is really good for the brain in a lot of ways. It combats depression. It helps with Alzheimer's disease. It may reverse brain and nerve damage. It improves fertility and sexual function. It reduces fatigue. It boosts your mitochondrial health, and your mitochondria are the energy pumps of the whole body. It prevents brain aging caused by lactate buildup in the brain. So lactate also builds up in the brain, and this helps clear it away, which is one of the reasons why it's good for Alzheimer's and combats depression. It will help rev up your energy levels. Clinical research confirms the benefits of acetyl-L-Carnitine for the brain, especially in older people. It boosts your acetylcholine, which has a pronounced effect on your health, mental health, and cognition. It also shields the brain against oxidative stress. It supplies the nerves with energy, enables the production of neurotransmitters crucial for health. In 2 studies with 576 older people, acetyl-L-Carnitine enhanced cognition, improved mood and behavior, and reduced fatigue. In 56 older patients, it partially reversed dementia due to the reduced blood flow in the brain. All right, let's press on. We're going to talk about L-Tyrosine. It helps the body build proteins in your body and produce enzymes, thyroid hormones, and the skin pigment melanin. L-Tyrosine is an amino acid. When supplemented, improves mood and memory, enhances cognitive abilities, increases focus, and reduces the adverse effects of stress. Intense physical or mental stress increases the release of adrenaline, norepinephrine, and dopamine, and levels can quickly become depleted. When this happens, the brain initiates the process of creating more by releasing an enzyme that converts L-Tyrosine first into this other precursor, which then turns into L-Dopa, and then from L-Dopa into dopamine, part of which is oxidized and converted into norepinephrine and then adrenaline, right? So this is the raw ingredient your brain uses to make these incredibly important neurotransmitters like dopamine and norepinephrine. A single dose of 500 milligrams to 2,000 milligrams of L-Tyrosine has been shown to be safe and effective. You will also find L-Tyrosine in many pre-workout drinks. And part of the reason for that is that when you're working out, you're putting your body under a tremendous amount of stress. And this will increase the endurance. This will allow you to go longer, harder, with more weight or whatever it is that you're trying to do. Last one here for L-Tyrosine. Working or studying long hours, struggling with anxiety, and even intense exercises are all stressors that can have a negative effect on cognition. And L-Tyrosine supplementation helps alleviate that. Subglutamine, it increases verbal fluency, which is great for copywriters. And I've done a bunch of biohacking presentations to copywriters for Agora and stuff like that. But it's also great for live streaming, doing a webinar, doing anything where you have to think on your feet and speak. And so I find combining subglutamine with any of the quick acting ones, as well as maybe some of these long-term ones, would be beneficial. With meditation, you're practicing not being distracted or noticing your distractions and noticing when you get distracted, both visually, sound, etc., depending on the type of meditation you do. The app that I like the best for meditation personally is Sam Harris's Waking Up app. He also has these tracks for what to listen to explain about meditation so that you really understand it. And I think his explanations are the best. And even in the 30-day ramp up of 10 minutes a day, like he asks you to meditate with your eyes open where there are sounds. And he asks you and there's a reason for that, right? Most people think that they have to meditate in quiet, but that's not, you're noticing where consciousness goes. And it's actually useful when learning to see how you get distracted. I also like the Muse. It measures your brain waves and it tells you while you're meditating, it gamifies it. It makes it a scoring type of game. And you can have the sound of the ocean in the background. And then if it's peaceful, it means you're in a meditative state. If it starts getting windier and windier, it means your brain is getting more active. If there are birdies chirping, it means that you just switched from an active brain to a calm mind. So you're always trying to get birdies. And it's just a way for people who have tried meditating and they're like, I don't even know if it's working. I don't know if I'm doing this right. I don't even know what I'm doing. This is an easy way to get all those questions answered. It will tell you when you're doing a good job and when you could be doing better. You can't help but become more focused and have a higher ability to pay attention if you meditate. And there are so many other benefits to meditation as well, cognitively, emotionally, physical health, where blood pressure goes down. There are so many benefits to meditation. And in this day and age where we tend to go every day, all day, having some time to really reflect inside and really understand yourself at a deeper level is really important and really beneficial. Now, I'm not an expert by any stretch on breathing exercises, but I wanted to share one type of breathing exercise that I've been doing recently that so far I've noticed some pretty cool stuff with it. It's called resonance frequency breathing. So the gist behind resonance frequency breathing is that everyone has their own ideal breathing rate, and it's different, right? It can range anywhere from 7 seconds for a full breath in and out, so 3.5 seconds in to 3.5 seconds out, to 14 seconds total, 7 seconds in, 7 seconds out. When you breathe at your ideal breathing rate, what happens is that a lot of resonance happens in the body. You're breathing at the same rate that your heart is beating. You're breathing at the same rate that your vagus nerve is sending out impulses. And all of these different things all go down to the same beat, the same pattern, right? And it makes it stronger. And I find that after I've done a session, I'm highly focused, but I'm very relaxed. And that's where you want to be for that is the flow state, right? Yeah. One thing I want to talk about is gamification. I've used different gaming ways of scoring different activities. I get 10 points when I focus on something that a team member needs or I promised a client. I get 1 point for checking email because I don't really need to be checking email. And then trying to beat my score each day is a way of keeping me focused long term. I think also having a focus routine. Your body can learn over time that, like, if this signal at this place happens, you always go into a major focus mode. Like, it will become easier over time if you always listen to the same music, if you're always staying at the same place, if you're always in the same location or whatever, right? So all of those things can be helpful, and you can build a stimulus response pattern with anything. And so you can, if you do things, any things that you do consistently before you focus or while you focus can become then triggers to get into focus.
While this next tip isn't strictly biohacking, it's a proven productivity booster. Biohacking is just one path to enhance productivity. Check out my next video on productivity hacks that changed my life that's not biohacking, and find out new ways to turn your life and your business completely around. Or if you haven't watched part 1 yet and are interested in quicker ways to give your brain a boost, you can click the link at the end of the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more insights to higher profits and beyond.